What is going on, guys? Welcome back to CK2. Finally, the series is getting started. I know it's been a while since I had this voting video up. It took me a while to get this started, I'm sorry, but we're finally here. And as you can see, I've decided to go with the interregnum start date. It was an overwhelming majority of you that voted for that instead of the camel invasion. And I think it does make quite a lot of sense because it's always fun to unite regions. So I think it actually is the better start date. But anyways, we are starting off as Winterhold, and as always in the first series, we have a lot of things that we need to do, a lot of things we need to figure out, a lot of things we need to set up, especially our family, our court, and our country. And yeah, I guess before we actually do that, I do want to mention one thing for those of you who might not know. The goal of this campaign is to unite what is known, or what was known as Skyrim. The Kingdom of Skyrim is what I want to create. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean we only have these provinces, or we have these exact provinces under our control. It can be a little bit more, it can be a little bit less. The only thing that really matters is that we have the title of the High King of Skyrim. That's all that really matters. And always, obviously, things can be a little bit different. As I said, we can conquer more territories, and we can, leave some of the territory unconquered. That really depends on the characters, because in all of my series, I like to roleplay my characters. So I have a look at their traits and, to a certain degree also at their stats, but that doesn't really matter all that much, and that will influence how I react and how I interact with the events in the game. Now, I guess that is a good point to start off with King Gromm's traits. He is obviously a Nord. Now, this is obviously important. The culture and religion does play a big role. We can actually maybe have a look at this, an overview. The cultures, as you can see here, there's a lot of Nords. This is, yeah, pretty much the territory of Skyrim that we want to control. A lot of Reachmen are also potentially our subjects, but that kind of depends. As I said, we don't necessarily need all of these provinces to form Skyrim, so we might just leave the Reachmen on their own, but we'll have to see. We might conquer them as well. It depends. And then these territories down here are technically not part of Skyrim, but as you can see, there's Nords living there, so that's kind of interesting as well to see what we do with this. But yeah, this is the culture map mode, and then we obviously also have the religion map mode, and you can see that we share the religion of the 8 divines with these southern realms, so that's actually pretty good. Interestingly though, the red gods have a very different religion, and there's the old gods over here as well, reaching pretty deep into Skyrim territory. So yeah, we'll have to see what that is. And what kind of religion is this? Cult of Malakath. Okay. Interesting. So there's all kinds of different religions. There's these Orirel, an elven pantheon. Okay. Interesting. But yeah, that doesn't concern us too much right now, because as a Winterhold, we have quite a lot of stuff to conquer before we actually get into these border territories. But yeah, essentially, we want to be the High King of Skyrim and the King of the Nords, unite all the Nords under our rule, under the dynasty of the Cruel Sea. Now, our King Gromm is 18 years old. He is obviously a Nord, as I have said, a descendant of the first human settlers in Tamriel. The harsh weather of their native land of Skyrim has given them an incredible resistance to cold. Now, I started in Winterhold specifically because Sarthal was the first human city that was built, at least I believe. It was the first human city that was built in Tamriel, and it has lost its splendor, I guess, a little bit. It's not as important anymore as like cities like Windhelm, for example, where we have the Palace of the Kings. But still, it is, it's important. It does actually have ancient Nordic ruins. So yeah, there's massive stone arcs, some dotted with animal motifs jut from the earth. I'm thinking that Sarthal might actually be a religious holy... No, that's not true. I thought it would be a religious holy site, which is not. Windhelm is one. Okay, that's a little bit unfortunate, but it doesn't really matter all that much. Now, we already see that Windhelm is going to be very important. That will likely be our capital once we conquer it, just because it's the Palace of the Kings. It's I'm pretty certain that I'm gonna switch my capital over there. But for now, we are ruling from Winterhold. Nothing too special here. Although, well, I guess one thing, the College of Winterhold. But I'm gonna be talking about that a little bit more later on. For now, let's get back to King Gromm. He is an interesting and somewhat he's an interesting character that contradicts itself a little bit, and I'll tell you what I mean by that. First of all, we are very religious. Now, Nords in general are very religious, and you know, I already mentioned the 8 divines. I'm not going to read this out. I think most of you guys already know much better than me what this religion entails. But yeah, very religious indeed. King Gromm is also content with his lot in life, which is fine. I'm not going to play it too passively, though. I usually, when I have a content character, that usually means, in my previous, you know, playthroughs, it meant that I wasn't really doing anything, and that's kind of boring. So I'm still going to do stuff. We're just not going to be overly ambitious, I think. Now, he's also slovenly, which is a new trait that, well, at least a new trait for me. This is been introduced by this mod. So, yeah. I don't know. I guess we are sort of sluggish. We look a little bit bad. We're not shaven, I guess. We're not clean. These kind of things. But I feel like this fits for Nord character. You know, they're more like the hardy warrior types. At least that's how I picture them. So them not being like the most, you know, flowery people is fine. So that's one thing. And then, so this is where the contradiction comes in. Now, King Gromm of the Cruel Sea House is cruel, apparently, an evil sadist taking pleasure in the suffering of others. But interestingly, he is also baptized under the Lady Stars. And I've actually been looking up the Lady in the Elder Scrolls lore, and the Lady, or her sign, whatever, is actually one of compassion, mercy, and so people born under the Lady's Stars are actually tolerant and kind. So it's a little bit interesting to see how this works out, but I guess he has like this cruel tendencies, but I guess just impulses, because that's his character. But I think when Gromm has time to think about things, then he's, you know, his religiousness, his zealousness will kick in, and he will see that he should actually be more tolerant and these kinds of things. Now, other than that, Gromm is an experienced mage, so I think this is replacing the regular CK2 education system. So you don't really have stewards anymore and stuff like that. You have mages now. Or maybe that's just one aspect. I know you have marshals still, or warriors. So, I don't know. We'll figure this out. But for now, we know that a mage is an individual that has dedicated education in the arcane arts. Wielding magicka is their passion, and mages are some of the most powerful individuals in the land thanks to their talents. So we get some bonuses from that. And we also have this magicka. Now, I know already from playing as the Red Guards that you can open spell books and you can cast spells and these kind of things. I'm not entirely sure how that works, but apparently magicka is a raw magical energy which can be accessed by many scholars on Mundus. A character can store up to 2 points of magicka per point of personal learning. Interesting. So yeah, that's why we can store up 32, because we got 16 learning. We can store up to 32 magicka, and that's something we can then use on spells. In fact, I'm actually going to open the spellbook right now. Never mind. Oh, there we go. I see. Okay, so yeah, right. We can do all kinds of things. Interesting. We're going to close it for now. Not too important. We don't have any magic out right now anyways. But we might cast a spell at some point. Now, let's get back to our king here. We have to... well, check out our family first. We do have only 3 living members. We have ourselves and our 2 sisters. Our sisters are 15 and 14, respectively, and they are followers of... Interesting. Right, we can probably choose our own patron deity. Okay, that's probably something we should do. In fact, let me quickly check this out. Let me see what we have available here. As a worshiper of the divines, I can choose to place one of the Aedra above all others in my worship, declaring them to be my patron deity. So we can go with the dragon god of time and first amongst the divines, follower of Akatosh. Study the covenants, worship the divines, do your duty, and heed the commands of the saints and priests. Sounds pretty good. Archai, the god of life and death. Honor the earth, its creatures, and the spirits living and dead. Guard and tend the bounties of the mortal world, and do not profane the spirits of the dead. Okay, I feel like okay, I'm gonna go, the Bella is probably not gonna work. So let's see who else we've got. Juliana's the god of wisdom and logic. Kinnereth, god of nature and rains. Mother goddess of love and family. Could go with that because we're born under the lady, but I don't really think so. Let's see who else. God of mercy and justice. Be kind and generous to the people. Protect the weak, heal the sick, and give to the needy. God of wealth, labor, and commerce. You know what? I think we're just going to go with Akatosh, to be honest, to make it easy. He's the first amongst the divines, so let's just pick him. There we go. Excellent. Yeah, indeed. Study the covenants. All right, I already read that. We gain a little bit of favor, which is basically replacing piety in this mod. Also, by the way, I probably haven't mentioned this, but you'll find a link to the mod, the Elder Kings mod, in the description, as always, just for those of you who want to check it out themselves. It's been around for a while, so it's not a new mod, but anyways. So, yeah, okay, so that's one thing we did. We are now following these people. Let's quickly check out our sisters. You are following Julianas, and you are following Zenithar. Spend wisely, and you will be comfortable. Never steal, or you will be punished. So I think we're going to give her a steward education, and then you, Julianas, observe the law. You will get the diplomatic education. It's interesting because their traits are actually quite different. But that's fine. You know, that's what we'll do. They're currently being educated by our mother, Kinthria. She is, almost 50 years old. And interestingly, she has the companion's bloodline. The 500 companions were the original Atmoran warriors that sailed from the frozen land to visit swift, bloody vengeance upon the Falmer for the Night of Tears. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Unfortunately, I'm not quite sure why, but we do not have that trait. I mean, she's our mother, so shouldn't we have the same bloodline? Or the same blood anyway? It's a little bit unfortunate. I would have loved to have that bloodline, but we might be able to get that into our family through different means. We'll have to see. Now, speaking of family, we actually have to get a wife, because right now, one of our sisters is the heir, but I think it's more safe to have males. So we definitely need to find a wife, and I have already found one that I think would be very suitable. Now, this is Iona Yingvla, and she is the sister of King Siora of Whiterun. Here, this is this small kingdom to the south, but it is relatively powerful. I think it's one of the 4-5 more powerful nations in Skyrim right now. So we've got Winterhold obviously here. We got Eastmarch, the Rift, then we've got Hafingar, and then we've got Whiterun. Those are kind of those are all the kings basically. Now in the Rift we have our uncle ruling. He's our mother's brother. So that's kind of interesting. We do not have an alliance, but we do have a non-aggression pact, so that's nice. Then here, ruling from the Palace of the Kings, we've got Queen Freitas. Now she's interesting because she was the last to hold the Kingdom of Skyrim. Now I don't really know the history here, I couldn't really find anything, but if we have a quick look at the Kingdom of Skyrim, the title itself, you can see she was the last holder. I'm not quite sure how she lost it, but she still has a claim, and obviously she does rule from the technically capital city. So she's going to be a contender for the crown that we want to claim for our dynasty. That's going to be interesting. And having a look at the history here, you can see that the House Ingvar was actually ruling Skyrim at some point as well under Olaf One-Eye. So therefore, I think it's a pretty good idea to marry Iona and get maybe in a marriage alliance with Whiterun. And then, the last of the 5 kingdoms here would be Hafingar, but I've already checked they don't have any women available. So the best one would be Iona here. Now, unfortunately, if I want to go ahead and marry her, they would not agree. They want to have a matrilineal marriage, which is likely because she has a weak claim on the Earldom of Whiterun. However, I have a plan, and I hope it works. But before we do that, let's quickly check out our ambition. Now, I could see the realm prosper for 5 years. I could see that happening, for sure. Because I don't think I'm going to go to war immediately, although a war chest... A war chest would be nice as well. Grooming an heir would be good as well. We would increase fertility. You know what? I think this is what we want. We want an heir for now, so let's go ahead and do that first. And as a focus, I'm going to go with theology here, just because we're very religious men, very zealous men. So, yeah, that would be perfect for now. And nothing else really makes too much sense, I think. Yeah, alright, so let's pick that. And, as I said, I do have a plan to get this woman. There's various ways. She won't come to our court, but if I buy a favor from her, she might. And then once she's in our court, we can just marry her. I think this is how it works. So we need 200 gold for that. And luckily, we can borrow some money. Unfortunately, not from the Jews, just from some local moneylenders, but that's fine too. We'll lose some prestige in diplomacy, but I think that's definitely worth it. So let's go ahead and get that. Now, we can actually, we could also try and get the favor from the king, but that's a little bit more expensive. So I think we're going to go straight to the woman. And interestingly, she also has a Nordic mountain horse, which I believe, we have nothing. We've got nothing. So, that's kind of neat as well. So anyways, let's go ahead, invite her to... Oh, what? Oh, wait, no, I have to buy the favor first. Oh, she's going to say no as well. Ah, I didn't know you could say no, but obviously that makes sense. Well, hold on. Maybe if I send her a gift first, send her a little bit of money first, then buy the favor. She's very expensive, but I think it's still worth it. Buy the favor. She's going to have to say yes, and then we'll move her to our court. All right, perfect. So what else have we got? We're getting our women set up. We can obviously... nominate a successor, interesting. So we have Tanistry succession, which is usually in regular CK2. You only find that in Ireland. I guess we're just going to go with our older sister. I mean, yeah, why not? There you go. And what else? We can create the Duchy of Ironbind. Interesting. Okay, we could do that. Right, okay, but that probably doesn't make too much sense at the moment. I'm not going to do that, because that's going to cost money as well, probably, right? If I create this... Oh yeah, that's going to cost 200 gold, so no, I'm not going to spend my money on that. We can recruit court physicians, go on a pilgrimage. We actually are going to do that. I think we're going to go on a pilgrimage, but let's hold off on that. And we can set our crown focus. We're going to do that in Winterhold, even though Sarthal is, of course, a very important historic city, but it's not that important, when it comes to actual economic and military strength. All right, so, and then, all right, there's... Oh, that's interesting. Develop ruins. Oh, that's so cool. We can convert this to... Okay, this is amazing. I really love this. Upgrade provincial infrastructure. Buildings construct faster, armies move quicker, reinforcements are drawn up more quickly, and it's easier to supply troops in the field. Be aware, however, that well-maintained infrastructure is not cheap. Oh, that's so cool. Alright, well, we're not going to do that right now, obviously. Converting this to a city is also interesting. I like that. We can also make this our... Well, yeah, that's regular. And then develop ruins. We can make them more profitable. That's why I see. Okay, so we get 1% extra tax. That's not a lot. But we can spend some money. Unexplored will be removed. We get ancient Nordic basic excavations, giving oh, okay. So that's definitely something I'm going to do, especially as a zealous character. But as I said, right now, we don't have the money for that. So we'll do that a little bit later. But that's so cool. I like that we can do that. Okay, now, one thing that we definitely need to do is give out some special titles. And this is actually the point where I would like to introduce the custom character I have in this series, and that is this one, a Khajiit Dokada Darodo. Very interesting. Thank you, OVG, for creating that character. And now I would like to go over this character's background story a little bit. I'm not going to go over in full detail because it's way too long for that, but you can check that out. I'll leave a link in the description so you can check it out for yourselves. But I do want to mention a few things. First of all, her name, it's she. It's difficult to, figure this out, but Dokada is a female, and she's actually the last of a line of, now let me get this right, of warrior or fighting monks from the region of Northern Elsewhere over here. So you can see the realm of Elsewhere to the south, and then there's northern parts as well that are kind of split apart. And that is because they have a different sort of culture. There's more the warriors to the north and more the diplomats, traders to the south. And she's from the northern part, somewhere between Riverhold and Orcrest, I believe. And so she was actually, she's a master monk. She was, living in a mountain temple, whatever, and teaching people to fight martial arts. And she was very popular, and at some point, for whatever reason, the ruler of Riverhold got very upset about that and decided to attack and raid the temple. And he was successful and killed most of the people there, except for Dokada. She managed to escape together with this person that she later took as her husband, as well as 2 other Khajiit that have arrived at our court. They're not too important, they're basically more side characters, but I would like to show them off as well. Yansun and Azezin over here. They're all relatively good fighters. As you can see, their martial is relatively high because they've all trained in that temple. Now, so this is what happened, and actually they are rivals as well. It doesn't show just yet. I have to go forward a day, but this dude and Dokada, they are rivals. And by the way, her name actually means something like nimble fighter in Khajiit. So I just wanted to point that out. She is very agile as well, so pretty cool. Now, so she escaped with her 3 companions, and they had quite a journey. I'm not going to go over that too much, but you can obviously read that for yourselves. But eventually, she headed for Skyrim for Winterhold because she heard of this great college of Winterhold, which I've mentioned briefly before, which is a school for magic. And the campus is very large, fortress-like, whatever it says here. And the most interesting about this is that basically the College of Winterhold takes in anyone. It has a reputation for taking in anyone who's skilled in magicka. And so this is what she thought. This is her chance to to find a place. And so she and her companions made her way to Winterhold, and upon arrival, there was a little bit of a problem they had. They encountered, or they came into hostile contact with the guards of Winterhold, and they fought them. Long story short, King Gromm saw it from the top of the walls how well she fought, because she knocked out all of the guards, even though they were armed and she wasn't. And so instead of punishing her cruelly, which he would usually do, in this case he was listening to to his more kind and tolerant side, and he saw the potential of Dokada. And so our king has decided to award her with an honorary title and make her the master of the blade. Actually, now I'm not sure if this makes too much sense. Hold on. No. This would make sense, but Dokada is not fighting with swords, but more hand-to-hand combat. So I think we're actually going to do something very, very crazy here. Even though this is a Khajiit, and even though the Nords are a little bit more isolationist, we're going to make her a Huskal, which is a personal bodyguard appointed by the Jarls. It's, something to honor close friends and loyal vassals, but I think in this particular case, it makes sense. So we're going to give it that honor title. I think we have several of those, so we can give that to more people. But yeah, so there's a Khajiit Huskarl in Winterhold. Quite interesting. We'll see what happens. And one thing that I'm also really curious about is what this is. Joining the Fighters Guild. That sounds like something that would make a lot of sense. You will be granted the rank of associate and can immediately take on guild jobs and study specializations. I would love to do that, but I'm not sure if this is... Is this a society? Oh, these are societies. Interesting. Ah, okay. I haven't even checked them out yet. Wow. Companions. Skyrim's ancient fighting force traces its origin to the 500 companions. Ah, modern companions strive to embody the heroic virtues. So we can't join in because, yeah, we have not. We can join the Mages Guild. All right, so, okay, here's what we're going to do. You, Dokata, you're going to join... Oh, you can join the Companions? The rank of New Blood and can immediately take on... Wow, that's so cool. But it doesn't really make much sense for Khajiit. I think the Fighters Guild makes more sense, but I probably should check that out first. Professional Association of Soldiers and Sellswords arose during the Second Era. Though this purpose was short-lived, the Fighters Guild has since become the premier destination for law-abiding adventurers to learn the ways of the warrior and other living, vanquishing outlaws monsters. I think that makes sense. So yeah, you know what, Dokata, I want you to join the Fighters Guild. There you go. As a Huskarl. Alright, and then, so yeah, the Companions, that would be really cool. At some point, we're going to probably join that. There's the Mages as well. Dedicate providing the Temple of Tamriel with scholarly and ethical environment in which to learn and practice magic, as well as goods and services pertaining to the arcane. The Mages Guild's extensive marketing of affordable potions, scrolls, whatever. Okay. Then the Mercantile Guild, not going to read that out right now. Scenarist Guild. That's interesting. Oh, those are painters. Okay, yeah. And then the Greybeards. What's this? Response to the tomb-wielding Nord army's disastrous defeat at Round Mountain. Way of the Voice, which uses the Thume only for the worship of the gods and strives to keep spirit and actions in harmony. Those who devote themselves to the Way of the Voice can harness their inner strength and project a mighty shout. That's interesting as well, because this is kind of, I believe this is like the dragon language. Student of the Way. Follow the Way. Okay, and then Mages. We are rather religious, aren't we? Now this would be... man. Being a wizard would be cool too. Study a specialization. And then we have minor quests. I'm uncertain if Greybeards or Mages. I'm uncertain about that. Alright, here's what I will do. Because it's already been going on for quite a while, this first episode. Let's move forward. Let's get our wife settled in. Yeah, we already have that. We already knew that. Thank you. But thanks for the reminder, I suppose. Let's wait for our wife to agree. She has. And now let's have well, arrange a marriage. That won't work. Interesting, they no longer want a matrilineal marriage. But if I invite you to court... What? Oh, no! This doesn't work? Ah, that sucks. Ah, really? Political concerns. Oh, that's annoying. And you're currently attacking someone. What if I offer to join your war? All help is appreciated. Let's offer to join the war. We really want to be friends with this guy for now. Let's see what he says. I just want to have a wife, dude. Alright, so he accepted. Now let me see. Can I just marry your sister? Now he would prefer a matrilineal marriage. But that's still not enough. Political concerns, her skills. Ah, that's so unfortunate. Alright, so we'll have to find another way. That was a huge waste of money, so I'm not really sure what I'm going to be doing about that. But yeah, okay. That was a fail. Anyways, I guess, you know what? I'm going to ask you guys, what should we do? Which society should we join? The Mages Guild or the Greybeards? I really don't know. And that maybe is because I don't have too much knowledge about the Elder Scrolls. So you let me know what you think would fit best for King Gromm. Or also, if you have experience with the mod, which is more fun. Anyways, that was it for this first introductory episode. We've covered 24 days. So congratulations. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys next time.